up, y'all? Welcome to the Dope Life Podcast, the dopest podcast ever. And of course, your host, Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach, the dopest life coach ever. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you never miss another episode. And if you could be oh so lovely and dope and leave us a rating and review, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. So my podcast can get out to dope individuals just like yourself. So today I have a very, very special guest. And I would have to say I love having special guests that are from my city and let alone from my country because of the fact that the podcast gets further out throughout the world, I've noticed. And I would like you to get to know a little bit about our city and how we move a bit as well. So today, I'm not even going to introduce myself. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself, and then we're going to go right into it. All right. So go ahead, introduce yourself to the Dope Life Podcast.
Everybody, my name is Rachel. I am the founder of Crown Management, a project and operations consultancy geared towards entertainment and business. We do event production, we do grant writing, we do business strategy. And so, yeah, that's me. Born and raised Toronto, Ontario. This is my home, this is my city. Born and raised Canadian. And it's summertime, and I'm just enjoying the heat personally and not complaining about what's to come in November and December. So yes, that's me.
So, thank you so much for hopping on the podcast. We were kind of talking a few minutes ago about our calling. So I'm just curious because I've been following you for a minute. I know that you have you just dived all into your business. So why don't you tell the people about your own calling and what made you get into entrepreneurship?
That is such a good question. So, I've grown up around entrepreneurship. My dad has always run his own business. He sells occupational health and safety equipment.
Okay,
So,
cool.
I've grown up around masks and gloves and fire extinguishers and hazmat suits and first
Hmm.
aid kits and all of that stuff. So, when the pandemic happened, I was already set. Like most of that stuff was already around me and I could just
Right.
grab it. So I've grown up really watching, um, taking ownership of your own and just always
Mm,
being the leader of that, always being in control of that, your freedom, because it was modeled for me as it pertained to calling. When I was a kid, I thought I was going to be a doctor. And then after that, I was like, "Oh, okay, I might move into just the corporate space, whatever that looks like." I
hmm.
took English at York University. So I was like, okay, maybe I might teach or write or whatever else. And I was very involved in like my church. I used to sing a lot. I've done a lot of recording, in studio recording, live recordings. I was like, okay,
Cool.
well, I might be in the industry and in music and stuff like that. That's easy for me to do. And then I was like, oh, like there's a gap here. So originally, when Crown started, it was an artist management company. And so I did have a roster of artists that I manage. Desiree D, who's part of the city, she's an instrumentalist. I used to manage her for quite a long period of time. S. Dot as well, and Jason Reynolds, who does front of house sound engineering. He tours with Shaggy and the Marley family and Kirk Franklin, and he's been in the industry for so long.
Right.
So I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna do that. And I think I'm being called to start this business in music. And then everything kind of changed after the pandemic, where I pivoted my business to project and operations. And then everything started moving there. So I just know that I'm here to show love, to bring joy, and to be
Right.
peace in everything that I do. And so that's why the experience with my company is different, because of I've decided to be that purpose.
Hmm.
And to be very frank with you, coach, it's been one of those things where there's been moments where I've stepped out of my purpose. And more times than not, that gets a little chaotic because you're trying to handle everything yourself. And then when you realize that you are not bigger than the program and there's somebody who is the program, that you kind of have to always kind of run things through, and he knows everything from the end to the beginning, from the end.
Hmm.
Um, I truly got serious about being in my purpose. And that's why in the last year and a half, a lot of things have shifted personally for me, because I've been like, okay, this is purpose. This is being in that. And so that's my purpose, is to show love, to bring joy, and to be peace in everything that I
Hmm.
do, whether I'm project managing a project, whether I'm going out for a walk, whether I'm going to the grocery store. When I dealt with the seat of my own heart, and everything was flowing out of that into everything that I did with the work of my hands, with who I'm supporting, and whatever else. So I hope that answers your question.
You touched on a lot of things there. So, first of all, thank you for sharing all of that. And you definitely answered the question and then some, which I think it resonated with me a lot having an entertainment background myself and going for that for years, attending a college for that and thinking like that was like what I mean that for the many years I thought entertainment was the industry I would have a very longevity in as a career. It was from when I was like a preteen. I was going after it for decades until, or sorry, years and a decade and a bit until I got into the industry and things shifted. I think I was in the midst of a massive change. So when I got into the industry, it was when I started coaching. It was when I started shifting my life, really diving deep into self improvement, diving deep into who I am at that time, which I know was young. I was like 21, 22, but I was just kind of figuring out the world of like, why do we act this way? Like, what's our design, our human design in many ways? Like, I was really looking at research. And obviously, this is before ChatGPT. This is like encyclopedia books. Like, we just got YouTube, I would say,
Mhm.
and getting used to that and getting acquainted with that. And then realizing that the industry wasn't for me. I shifted so much that I couldn't do it anymore, which was such a tussle because this is something I wanted to do since I was a preteen. I'm doing it. I'm unhappy. So I
Mm.
have to figure something out here. So I left the industry and ended up in transportation, but then allowed me to focus on my business even more. And I don't remember where I got the idea from, but someone said, like, you need a mission statement. Like, what is your mission? What's your purpose of everything that you're doing? And although I was coaching pro bono and not really taking it serious for many years, when COVID hit, I was like, okay, everyone was stuck inside. I had no choice but to be stuck inside. I was working for the city, so I was staying away from my family, not knowing if I could carry something to them. And that's why I just said, like, why not go all in? What are we afraid of really and truly? What's it really gonna cost us? I know it will cost me if I don't do it, but what's it gonna cost me if I do? So I resonated with a lot of what you said there because you had to pivot. I think a lot of us had to pivot around that time, and pivoting and adapting is part of everything you do, not just for entrepreneurs, not just for coaches or speakers, whatever. You have to pivot and adapt in life. And I think sometimes we're fearful of it because of the fact there's a fear behind it. Like, what if it does not work out? Or what if it does and I'm unprepared? Like, there's so many factors of that. So I'm glad you touched base on all of it. And having an entrepreneurial background, having that, like, your family there, I'm sure that helped me personally. None of my family members are entrepreneurs. I think most of, like, I don't know if it's a fear thing, I don't know, but even just unwrapping my brain from that has been a challenge. And when I got into it, one of the things that I've noticed was, at least I thought, I now 5 years into this, I thought that people in Toronto, in terms of who have a business, gatekeep. I keep hearing that. Oh, we gatekeep here, we gatekeep here. But the more I become a part of organizations and environments and that do not gatekeep and communities or meet people randomly online that are sharing information about grants and all these things, I'm like, this has to be a lie. What is your thought process on that Toronto is filled with gatekeepers?
That's such a good question.
I mean, speak
Wow.
about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how real I can be about this because a couple weeks ago I had this conversation, and I would say I wouldn't call it an incident, but it was
Mm,
like an uncovering of being gate kept,
yeah,
and it was very disappointing.
yeah,
It was a disappointing moment where I found out that like I had done services for a few people that I'll keep them nameless, and I
absolutely.
met another random person, and they're
Hmm.
like, "Oh, hey, like I saw that you did this," and I asked those people because I'm relatively close to them, like who did their stuff, and they won't tell me who did it, and I'm like,
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
like really, like again, nobody's bigger than the program. Whatever God has for you. So
Hmm.
for me, my disappointment was just like little old me, like you're that threatened that you wouldn't tell that other person, oh, Rachel did this for me, or it's no problem. If I
Yeah.
was that horrible of a person, I'm pretty sure they'd be like, don't hire
Yeah.
Crown.
Don't mess with
Terrible.
such and such. Stay away.
Terrible,
Yeah.
terrible. But to it was different. It was a different type of gatekeeping. It was like, we're hiding her because we don't feel that she should get this opportunity or she should get bigger than us or whatever. And
Mhm.
that's what it felt like to me. And I guess in that moment I was just like, I'm not that person. Like, again, I am not God. I cannot keep opportunities away from people. And no matter the experience, whether good or bad, I am the person that will never keep somebody from their bag. Like, you should be able
Absolutely.
to thrive, hit your head against the wall, learn the lesson, do it again. Like, I am that type of person
Mhm.
to have people, learning the experience of whatever industry they're in. I will be honest, I do think that there are gatekeepers in the city.
Mhm.
There are
There
people
is.
in high places that hold the door either closed or open for you. There is a
Mhm.
level of nepotism as well that exists in our city, that I also find interesting. And I think that people just need to know that they're enough and know that they can shift off of the seat of pride to think that they know it all and just
Mhm.
hold the door open. I actually saw him this week. It was his birthday yesterday, a pastor, his church I used to go to. And he preached one Sunday and he said, you can't be successful without a successor. So at the end of the day, you can be as successful as you want. In order for legacy to occur, you have to be teaching the people behind you
Hello.
and know that even if they get bigger than you, they're just part of the bigger program. They're part of the legacy. So why
Yep.
wouldn't you want them to be better than you or bigger than you or learn from your mistakes? That is the whole point of that. So to add
I
to
agree.
elevate your point as well of the gatekeeping, there are people who are genuine in nature who say, we all eat the same food, be like, this is just what it is. In order for us to share, we elevate as a collective, we elevate as a country, as a city, in the city, to then therefore eliminate that idea that gatekeepers are these big bad gremlins that are by the gate, that are by the bridge and you can't cross, right?
Right.
So I do think that there is work needing to be done, and even if it
Mhm.
needs to be myself to be like, no, pass off that opportunity to this person, hold the door open for this other person. Some people don't realize that I'll be in conversations with clients and I feel like I can't help them. I give them the resources. I point them to other people that they should talk to. There's calls that I have. I'm like, did you call this person? Why? And it's not in terms of not thinking that I could do it. I'm saying,
Right.
hey, like, you're at this level. Why haven't you called this person? Maybe they could help you. Like, knowing that is a true heart of a true gatekeeper, is to know that sometimes expansion happens when it's not about you, it's about the bigger picture. So yeah,
I
that's
definitely.
my that's
No, no,
my
I agree. You hit the nail. I guess the part where I was always told, well, I don't want told, but I always presumed that everybody gatekeeps. And as I got into the business the last 5 years and really like networking with people, like-minded people, there is people out there that actually do help. I was always underneath the impression that there was no help here at all, like at all.
mm,
I will also say this, and I wish it was better. And I will say, like, I have more people putting me on outside of Canada than
yep,
in.
yep,
And
that's
I'm
how it is.
shocked when people outside of Canada are saying, hey, like, I noticed you have this, blah, 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 try this. You could reach in this country and this country. Okay.
Mhm.
And in Canada, I do have like key people that I know for a fact that if I need certain resources or help, I can. I know they're there. But what I've also found, kind of going back to what you said, there are many people that will not respond, will try to hold you back. And I always see it as, so I'm a threat
Yep,
somehow, which,
yep.
as you said, little old me. I don't know how I am, but you know what? That's cool because I'm going to keep pushing regardless. I'm just not meant to, maybe I'm not meant to get that at that moment, that contact. Maybe I'm not, not the thumb. Maybe I'm not meant to, um, maybe I wasn't prepared in that season for that phone
Mm,
call or that contact,
so good.
or maybe I just need to receive, like, for example, if I were to receive someone telling me like you did, "Hey, by the way, I tried to contact you about, about this and they told me they wouldn't give the information." I don't know, maybe a year or 2 years ago, I may would have reacted in the worst way. But now it's like,
Mhm.
huh,
Mm.
okay, but if you need my services, by all means. I may have just been more in a different chapter to react differently and be prepared. I'm not sure where I'm really going
Mhm.
to, but I'm just saying sometimes it's just, if it's, I always say, okay, maybe God doesn't want me to do it right now. That's usually my answer. Like, maybe it's just not supposed to happen right now. And that's okay. And maybe I
Absolutely.
need to go through some more things to get to the point where I'm willing to accept it and maintain. Because we can manifest, we can pray, we can ask for things all we want, and we can receive it. But are we in the season of maintaining it? I always say, like, are you prepared to maintain it? Because you received it now, that's well and great, but can you hold on to it and maintain it? So maybe you're not going to receive it in that season because you're unable to maintain it. And yes, there is people who gatekeep. Flat out, I will say it. I was under the impression when I first started, like, no one's gonna give me anything. Like, no one's gonna give me
Mhm.
information. No one's gonna try to help. Little did I know I was incorrect. There are people like yourself who are out there who are willing to say, "Hey, I have this event. Hey, did you hear about this networking thing? Hey, I know someone that's looking for workshops to be done. Go talk to Coach AJ."
Mhm.
Shocking to me. You're
Mhm.
sent like that's, but I also have a saying that there's enough on the table for everyone to eat. I don't know
Mhm.
why we have this mentality of, no, this is mine. There's
Mhm.
enough for everyone to eat.
Mhm.
And the more that you pass off food to other people, the more everyone eats. It's just like you said, it builds foundation, builds legacy. And
Mhm.
now you could turn back and say, if someone says, "Hey, how did you get on?" Like, "Oh, you should go talk to Rachel because she put me on."
Mhm.
And it just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds. So I wish it gets better. But yes, in other countries, particularly the US, I'm just saying, my
Yeah.
people out there, I ain't gonna
Yes.
lie to you. They
So
put me on.
good. So good. And I think I'll be expanding eventually into the States. I did open my business. I just need to do some other things just to firm things up. So, like, even when I talk about my grad services, the flood of DMs I get like all the time, they're like, oh, do you have this? Do you have that? And I'm like, I'm not in the US yet. I'm still primarily working in Canada. But I
Yeah.
just want to touch on your part where it's just like, oh, this happens like outside of the city. I'm faith based. And so we hear the conversation about like, Jesus doing all these miracles and stuff like that. He like never did a lot in his hometown. And one of the things that he said was a prophet's never regarded in their own home, like ever. And so that's why he was able to do like miracles and all these fun things outside of Nazareth,
Yeah.
because it was just like that for him. That's why, and I'll just use this example, like Drake blew up in Houston.
Yeah.
Before he blew up in Toronto, there was parties that he couldn't get into when he was here making his music. They just wouldn't let him in because they either thought he was annoying, they didn't like, he was just weird, he had too many people, with his entourage was too big, like. And then he worked on his craft, went to Houston, got big in that space, and then brought it back to our city and became, our hometown
What
hero.
he is
That's
now.
sometimes
Yeah.
how it works. And it's unfortunate sometimes, but expansion is sometimes learned elsewhere because you're away from what's comfortable and you're away from what's familiar to you.
Yeah.
And you really have to, as you said, take the risks, which is very, very important in entrepreneurship. That is, pivoting is like, you have to do it. Like, there's no, I just
There's
spoke about the
no.
pivots that I did, right? Like changing my entire business model. I studied the etymology of pivot recently, and it comes from the idea of a hinge pin. So if you think of the Olympics, like discus or like shot put, you have to ground yourself one side of your body in order to shift your entire weight to move. So
Mm,
if you are not grounded in something,
you
you
can't move.
you can't pivot properly to where you can even hit the mark, or at least
Yeah.
try and throw something to be like, I'm going to make this risk. So I always try to say that to people, to be like, yeah, you can pivot all you want, but if you're not grounded in something first, whether it's in your own purpose with your own self, you do that inner self work, then you're going to topple over and it's not going to
Yep.
work. So I
Or you're
just love
just,
everything that you said. It was so great.
it's interesting you said, thank you, by the way. It's interesting you said when you ground yourself. So I play golf, and recently I was at a drive range, and this, I forgot the gentleman's name, but I he noticed me hitting the ball, and he's like, could I show you something?" I'm like, absolutely. One thing about me, I'm open to
To
learn.
learning. Yeah.
Like, please help me. And he's like, I notice that you're hitting it, but you're not putting the weight on your left leg. I'm like,
Mhm.
huh? He's like, think about it. He's like, you got to put your weight on the left leg. So when you swing back the club, all like your strength is already grounded into the ground.
Mhm.
And I was like basketball. I used to play basketball as a kid. And he's
Mhm.
like, yeah, just like basketball. So he's like, give it a shot. I was like, okay. Shows me how to hold the driver a bit better. I swung. First thing, the ball launched
Wow.
175 yards. I
Wow.
was like, wait, wait, wait. And he starts to laugh. I said, hold on. Do you know how long I've been racking my brain? Like, how come I can't? He's like, you weren't grounded. Like, you weren't pivoting your foot into the ground. Like, it was just standing there. He's like, you need to put your weight on your left foot. And I'm like, okay. So when you said that, immediately I thought about how important it is to ground yourself in anything you do, really. And going back to a word you use, which is purposeful, you mentioned that when you were, switching your business and things like that, and you're being purposeful in everything you do. And funny enough, purpose is, I guess, or purposeful was the word I gave myself for 2025. That everything
Mm.
I did has to be intentional, which I did for 2024, and it has to be purposeful. And there has to be linked to the purpose of who I am and who I'm continuously becoming. And these little things, I don't think people understand how important they are. Because with you being intentional, with you being purposeful, it allows you to be authentic. Because so many of us are wearing a mask in this world thinking that we have to show up this way. I'm
Yeah.
going to give you an example. It's kind of funny. So, and I think you saw it. Typically, when I make content, it's either this backdrop or on my breakfast table in my car. For the most part, I show up as me. I am not going to get dressed. And I realized I'm uncomfortable. It's not me. But when I have a message, I have to get it out that moment because I can lose it.
Mhm.
And I made a vow with God last year where I just surrendered. I said, look, fine. I give up. I get it. I'm hearing you. Use me as your vessel. I'm hearing
That's
you.
it.
Like,
Right.
I'm done. I'm not going to fight this anymore. I understand that you've been wanting me to use my voice through you. Fine. However, I can do it my way, but I get it now. And I kid you not, he was like, okay, great. Good. Gotcha. Like, I felt it from that moment. I'm like, what the
Yes.
heck? So finally, when I make content, I know some people I see like they have like the super backdrop, and people are like, "Aren't you like? Don't you want to make it?" I'm like, "No. Why would I? Why would I not just make it the way that you can hear the message? If you're so focused on my hair being not cut, or I'm chewing, or I'm drinking my coffee, the message came to me at that time. This is my authentic self." So going
Mhm.
back to what I was saying, you saw that video I made about the CNE hot dog. I want to make something very clear. That was a joke. Like, that was just me being my humorous self. I'm a humorous person. Like, I'm a lightful person. Did not think I think this morning I had so many notifications. I was like, "Oh my gosh, what now?" 43,000 views later. I'm like,
Oh my goodness.
53,000 views on TikTok. I'm like, "It's a hot dog, guys. I'm just joking." Like, this all I'm saying, my opinion, I'm not gonna spend $55 on a hot dog, but that's cool if
That's it.
you want to. And it goes to every video I've had that's gone viral this year. I've just been chilling. So that's why I put two and twos together. Why would I have to set the camera a certain way and blah, blah, blah? If you're getting my message through what I'm saying, we like that. Not everything needs to be perfect in what you're doing. As long as you're intentional, as long as you're purposeful, as long as you're authentic, you're okay.
So
But the
good.
like you're okay. But the moment that you're constantly putting on a mask just for show face and make, people think, that means you're not able to be yourself. And what a disservice to the life that you've been blessed with.
Mhm.
To
Yep.
not be your to not live your truth and be yourself. That seems
Yes.
odd to me. It seems
Exactly.
odd to me cuz someone right now is would love to be in your position. They would love to wake up with no pain. They would love to have running water, have a roof over their head. And I know I'm going a little bit off topic, but it's all rooted in who you are. So if I can give anyone a message right now, is when it comes towards being intentional, being purposeful, being authentic, it just means being you,
Mm-hmm.
which
I
is
love
the way that God intended you to be the first place.
exactly. Exactly. You're right
You're
on
not here
point.
by mere hapstance. Rachel and I are no perfect individuals. We are just
Nope.
ourselves. We just show up every day like ourselves. And if it means, like you said, walking and saying hi to someone, holding the door, telling someone they have a good day, chatting people up, you have no idea how that can make someone's day.
Yes. I love that so much. And
So,
yeah.
no, go ahead. I'm just saying, like, yeah, be purposeful, be intentional, be you.
Yes, I just wanted to elevate that because that is what changed for me this year. And we were talking before just about the fear of being seen. And I really had to work on healing that. I thought that there's certain things need to be curated and look a certain way and whatever.
Hmm.
I'm going to tell you at the top of this year, I was just like, oh, I finished one event and I was like, okay, what's next? And there was nothing in between. And I had to really get into the place of surrender that you talked about and be like, hey, it's not about me. And, I went onto my Instagram one day and I had won a grant last year for my business. And I was like,
I think I
okay,
saw that. Congrats again.
yes, thank you. I won
You're
last
welcome.
year the Raise grant. And so I was like, oh, let me just, see if I could like write for some people or whatever. Like maybe I'll do that. And I did I typed out a post on my stories. I'm like, hey, I'm probably gonna start writing for people and I'll probably help you with your business plan. Like I have my own, I'll help you write yours. Like if you need help, like this is probably just a new service that I'll launch. DMs next day, like so many DMs. And one of the DMs was from a young lady that I met once, like the year prior. And she's like, oh, hey, you're starting a grant writing service. I'm a grant writer. Been working for 10 years in nonprofits. Subcontract me, I'll work for you. That was it. So that's how the grant service literally materialized itself in April. I am not
That's
joking. That's literally
crazy.
so when I just got into the place of surrender, like you just became obedient. I was just like, okay,
Yep.
fine. Okay, this is what I need to do. If I'm an entrepreneur, do I want to just be do event production? Am I in entertainment and business?
Yeah.
Like, what are we really talking about here? So I launched that, and of course there were some learning lessons in between that from April
Hmm.
till now, and it's just been a very interesting time. And then the
Yeah.
first video that I did talking about grants was the first time that I myself went viral on my TikTok.
You see?
The first time I'm in the bed, coach, messy bun, no, just
But
hey,
you're you.
these are the grants for July. Viral. I still get numbers daily.
You
I
still
get
get, I know, I see.
$20
You
every
always get
day.
numbers. Can I also touch a point on something?
Yes,
My partner lives in Texas.
yes.
She gets your videos. So she sent me one and I'm like,
Rachel.
so I don't know if the algorithm was because obviously her and I follow each other, but I was just like, okay, if you're getting them.
Wow.
Oh, and I
See?
meant to tell you that. I'm so sorry. I meant to
No,
tell you
this is
that. I
good
forgot.
because then I get the feedback. Yes.
Yeah, because when she reposted it, shout out to her, and then she sent it to me, and I'm like, "This is Rachel." Like, what the heck? Like, I'm like, I know. I said, I'm like, yo, I know her, and she's like, you don't? She's like, yeah, she's in Toronto. She's showing your aunt, blah blah. Check her out. Check out. I'm like, check her out. What do you mean?
We
Like,
are mutuals.
we're mutuals. I mean, we haven't met in
Yes.
person, but we're mutuals. And she's
Yes.
like, oh,
Yes.
okay. And I was like, wow. So I
Wow.
meant to tell you, like, yeah, you're. That goes to show you like even with our content and the stuff we're saying and the things that we push out, it's pushing to other people. And I love the fact that you mentioned like you were in your bed, messy bun, but you got straight and concise to the point. This is the grants for July. Dot 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 dot. And every time that you make those videos, people are there like, okay, save. I see it like they blow up.
Yes.
Those videos blow up.
Yes.
And what I love the fact of what you said was you like things were slow and you're like, okay, I got this grant. Let me see if I can do this. And you did it. And things kind of progressed. But I want you to take, and I know sometimes as entrepreneurs, we take slow
Mhm.
months as a sign of, oh, things are going horribly wrong. This is
Mhm.
bad. This is bad. This is bad. And I started to learn that those slow months are God ways like, you're going to need a break.
Rest. Yep.
Because I didn't realize, like, for example, next month,
Mhm.
I always write out, like, okay, I got this. And I'm like, oh, so that's why I've been kind of chilling in August a little bit. Got it. I get it. And sometimes you need those moments.
It's so true because and it was like, can I push my car insurance payment? Like people also don't think of that. Like entrepreneurs, like we eat what we kill. Like literally, unless you have something in the back end where you're like, okay,
I
I
have
have a
something
little
in the
nine to
background.
five.
Luckily, I can't
Yes.
imagine.
Yes, where I'm like, whoa, like I have to really be agile in like my approach and the things that I do.
Yeah.
And so I was applying for stuff in March and April. I was like, okay, cool, like I can apply, but I was very particular. I'm like, let me apply for like event production stuff. Especially because a lot of the event production that I've done already has just been my name going around. And I said in another
Yeah.
interview that 90% of what I get is referral based. So now
Shout
in
out
the
to
time of
referrals.
rest, I had to learn sales. Like I'm literally in sales training now where I have to sell, I have to talk and sell myself and
Yep.
know how to move a meeting in a specific way to close it. Like that's what I'm learning now in my business. And I've been running Crown for 8 years. So after
Sorry to
that, yes,
can I
go
pause
ahead.
here because I want to make a very important comment.
Yeah.
You just said you're
Yeah.
now learning sales and you've been running your business for 8 years. I need people out there to listen if they're thinking about running a business or they're running one right now and you're still learning along the way. It's okay.
Thank you. Yes. So
I'm
good.
still learning myself. I meet many other entrepreneurs just like Rachel, and I'm like, you're putting me on game. I didn't know. I had no idea I could do this. And funny
Yes.
enough, if you ever want to talk about sales, I used to sell. So I used to sell competitively at a retail store. And for
Yeah.
me, selling myself now is just like the same,
Yes.
recycling the same thing, just different package. Just throwing that out there. But I want
Yes.
people, those who are listening and watching this right now, part of entrepreneur, any growth you go through, you have to continuously learn.
Yep. That's it. You just got
There's
to
no other
learn
way
the,
around it.
yep. And we learn the hard knocks way. Like
Yeah,
in entrepreneurship, and then there's the times where you do invest in yourself, you do the courses and stuff like that,
absolutely.
and so that's really important to do. And so when in the March and April when it was pretty dry, I was like, okay, let's do this, and I need to get my CRM back up. But in May I was doing all my proposals manually and people were missing meetings and it was crazy in May.
Yeah.
And then I applied for an event production position for a charity,
Okay.
and I'm working on whatever I need to work on, and then I got that position in June. So had Tiffany, shout out to Tiffany, who is
Shout out to
my grant
Tiffany.
writer on my team, had she not come on to help me with my grant service, it would have been really hard to balance it by myself. So
Right.
now I'm literally I actually have to produce this gala that I'm doing right now in September. I can at least like it's like God set
Focused.
me up. Like he
Yeah.
brought Tiffany in, so she runs like all my meetings, she does everything, she does the onboarding and everything like that. But I'm able to focus on this gala because I'm also in office downtown. So a lot of my energy is going into this space, and this gala is my first corporate gala. So now I'm moving into the corporation space where I'm like, okay, now I know the game's going to change significantly because I've just been
Yeah.
doing a lot of things in the community. High level, of course, the things that I've done already, but now
Mhm.
I'm in a very, very different space
Different
and game
space.
now, and I could still run these things. And that's another thing that I think you may have touched on in the entrepreneurship game, where it's just like you're always learning. I'm learning sales, and then in the midst of that, knowing that I can't do it all by myself, I had to rest in that the top of the year. And then I'm now in this position where I've been forced to scale because I'm
Yeah.
bringing people onto my team. And so I'm like, okay, God, clearly this is bigger than me. You've had to make me take the risk. You had to make me be in somewhat of a deficit to launch me forward. Like if you think of an
Right.
arrow, you have to pull it back to then launch it. The times where I'm just like, oh, this is so frustrating to be in. When you come out
Mhm.
on the other side of that, you're like, oh, I understand. And I said this last week, like storms, get it. Very frustrating experiences.
But they do
Usually
clear.
when the storm is over, it creates a clearing so you could see
Yeah.
farther
They do
and
clear.
you'll be fine. And everything if you're in your purpose, everything else outside of you is purposeful. And
Yes.
there's a bigger plan that is ahead of you, that what we can rest in is it's not in our hands. If it's something bigger than us that is in, God's hands, then it's like,
Hmm.
okay, I'm in good standing. I'll be fine. It may be confusing right now, but I just need to move through it.
But
So
it's
yeah.
okay. Yeah. And it's also like leaning in those moments. My therapist always tells me, this is what I would say kind of shifted my mindset when it came to entrepreneurship. I mean, she's a therapist, so she's in it, for years. And she's like, those moments where, things may not be that busy, or, you're just kind of like some dead time, not too crazy. Make sure you rest, because rest is productive. Rest is necessary.
Most lucrative thing you can do.
Is rest. And I'm not saying you have to sit on your couch and just do absolutely nothing. Rest could be different ways for you. It could be going for a walk, it could be coloring, or I do word searches, for example. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many things. It's my mom. I'm not gonna lie to you, that Jamaican spirit of word searches.
It's just like you do all the things that your parents you did before, and you're like, wow,
Literally, the
I
older I
get it
get, the older I get, I'm like, okay, well,
now.
I understand. That's mom and dad. But yeah, the like those little ways, those little pockets, those little moments are needed for you to continuously and elevate and scale and be ready for what comes next. You
Hmm.
need those moments of just, okay, I need to just be for a moment. It's absolutely necessary. It's critical. I always say that it's better that you rest versus being forced to rest. And, see rest as, eventually a doctor could tell you that's your prescription. So you might as well just do it anyways. And also taking control over it. If you feel that maybe you need to do all these tasks and then rest, I say maybe change it a bit. Allow yourself to just be. The tasks will get done. They will get
I
done.
received that. That's so good.
It will
Yeah.
get done. Right? And if there's things that you could delegate, delegate them. I know as entrepreneurs we have a tough time dealing with that, but
Hmm.
delegate them.
Yeah.
But they will get done. They will. I
Right.
always say that I have a tough time myself dealing with that sometimes, as I'm like a one woman show, but I always have to remind, you know what? It will get done. We're okay. We're okay. And
Absolutely. I
it's
say that all
good.
the time. The work will still be there when you get back.
It will still be there. I worked corporate, and I remember being worried, I gotta finish this up. Then I said, but I don't have a job coming Monday. I have to come back here. So
Yeah.
I'm good. Like, I'm all right. They got their reports. This stuff could stay till next week. I'll be okay. And that's the thought process that you kind of shift to after a while, when you could, because you can easily
Hmm.
get burnt out as an entrepreneur. And it's important to notice the signs and also be proactive to that. So shout out to rest. Love me some rest. Last question that I ask everyone:
Yes.
what makes Rachel feel dope?
Wow, that's such a good question. I love your questions. They're so good. Laughing. Joy is
Mm.
like fun. Like whatever you do, if you can find the joy in something, it's always fun. I got to see The Lion King this week. That was
Oh,
fun.
the live.
The live one, yeah.
How'd you
Shout out
like
to
it?
David. He plays Mufasa in the production, and my brother David. But yeah, it was a great time. I also went to dinner before that, which was incredible as well. I took the day off yesterday from my current client, and sometimes the things are astounding, and you just need to laugh at them. I got a
Yeah.
very interesting quote for an aspect of the production. I was just like, wow, that's a lot of money, and just started laughing. Like it was just like, okay, we're just gonna have to fix it next week when we deal with it. Joy and just having that is always gonna get you through a lot of things. It's
Yeah.
better than choosing anger. And you could only have anger or disappointment for a moment. Choose that.
For a
I limit the
moment.
time there in that space, and I'm like, okay, what can I do with that? I could laugh about it or see it from a different vantage point. Laughing and joy is one thing that others would say about me, is like Rachel's always smiling or like having fun or laughing. So joy.
I love the fact that you said that, because I guess with like my background with like my job, I used to drive the city bus.
Hmm.
And one of the things that you have to sometimes have, because, we get hated on a lot
Hmm.
in the public. So
Right.
one of the things I had to do is just find the joy in the midst of all of that. Because if I
Hmm.
didn't, I'd probably turn mud. So it was
Mhm.
easier for me to just find some form of laughter and joy in it because I don't like to be angry. It's annoying. It's
A lot of
miserable.
energy.
Puts years on your life
Mhm.
and just bad juju. Don't want to deal with it. I too, like, I have a very interesting humor side. In fact, I figured figured out it actually comes out in my coaching as well and my speeches and every piece of work that I do. I can't help it no matter what I do. I
Yes,
cannot help it. So I love the fact that you said joy. I want to thank you so much. This was a really good conversation.
it was good.
I
Yes.
truly appreciate you hopping on the podcast. And I think at this point we need to actually probably have dinner and meet up or lunch and meet up
Yes.
in person because I think there's a few Torontonian people I'm just like, let's just do
Let's
something.
just
Like
do
I gotta
one
I
big dinner.
one big dinner. I gotta figure something
Yes.
out
Yeah, let
because
me know. I can curate that for you if you need. So,
you see, this is we're gonna talk about this offline. Anyway,
yes, message me, please.
I mean, shoot, there we go. Like,
Yeah.
boom, we actually there's something I want to talk to you about offline. But for
Yes.
those of you who are listening, I appreciate y'all for tapping into the Dope Life podcast. I hope you got some really good gems out of today's episode, and you guys know what to do. Walk with peace, walk with love.